actually, I shouldn't say this. It's very pompous to say this. But when I actually saw the first cut, I told Radha, I call him India's James Cameron. Radha James Cameron is what I generally call him in my messages and all that. I said it's the climax is bigger than Titanic. The way it has been done. I mean, I don't want to break all the Q factor of the film. That's what I genuinely felt. So it posed me a huge challenge. See, again, it's a love story. Titanic was also a love story. Comparisons are going to come, but don't compare it. I'm saying this is more of a La La Land, I would say. You know, for me, personally speaking. And when you deal with films like this and you want to make it international, like yesterday when we were watching the reels with Prabhas, he was actually saying that it's sounding international. You know, it's looking international. It's like, but at the same time, it is a love story that comes from Indian cinema. You know, like Faridun said, you know, you talked about Indian cinema. Now we are talking about Indian cinema. Actually, historically, it is wrong. There were a lot of South Indian films have had Indian actors from the north, and South Indian film was actually identified as Indian cinema. If you look at the 70 years of India's cinematic history. And it's that just in the last 20 years we just forgotten. If you put together Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema, Malayalam cinema put together, no, it's much bigger than Hindi cinema. We just didn't know about it. You know, their overseas openings, you know, put everybody else to shame. I mean, if you look at it. So actually, what pandemic has done is just leveled it. You know, now we know the other languages are there. Like Prabhas was saying, we have like more than, you know, how many languages we have. We have as many industries. You know, we just don't recognize it. You know, then we are the only one country. If you look at Europe, you know, you only talk about UK, French cinema, Polish cinema, a little bit of other language cinema. But when we talk about India, India is bigger than Europe, and the number of industries that we have is more than 15. As in industries that is working is more than 15. Europe doesn't have that kind of numbers, and you know, so because we have our own stories, our own language, our own literature, you know. So Radhe Shyam come from the core of Indian cinema, you know. So even if you know you see visuals of that kind, and you know, because the film is set in Europe, because that's what the basic tenet of the story is that's why it is set in Europe. It's not that we want to compete with Titanic or make it like that, or you know, go one step ahead of it. But the story demanded that it be set in Europe in the 70s, and so we are just coming together. I mean, India, the Indian audience is coming together. I mean, that's what the pandemic has done to us. Post-pandemic, we have identified as one people through Indian cinema. I mean, that is the core of, you know, Indian cinema has done in the last 2.5 years.